Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here. Today we're reacting to the Acolyte trailer. This is very much an interesting concept, or at least a new concept for Star Wars to tackle. Because this is the first time in, I want to say, the screen media, the film media, more specifically, that they're finally delving into a new time period. This show takes place 100 years before the Skywalker Saga, 100 years before the Phantom Menace, meaning this is the first time Star Wars has actually decided to step out of its comfort zone and tell, well, stories that aren't connected to the Skywalker Saga. So this is very interesting and definitely a huge risk for Star Wars and one of their biggest ambitious projects. As to whether or not it will pay off, let's see. So we're gonna watch the trailer. I've already seen it a bit before, so I'm just gonna really do more of analyzing this time around.
Close your eyes. Your eyes. Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Got a Wookiee. Looks like we're going on Kashyyyk.
I sense the darkness.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it. What is that?
Red lightsaber. All right, so I'm gonna break down the trailer a bit. I'm not gonna go down to the bare bones. I'm not gonna spend like an hour breaking it down. I just want to point out some highlights. So from what I've noticed, right. So first of all, I think this lady, my prediction is that this lady is gonna be like one of the main protagonists of the story, if not like a secondary main protagonist. But from what I've heard, this show is supposed to be like a mystery style show where someone's killing Jedi and they want to do some detective work. So for all we know, this lady could be the first Jedi who dies. However, she does feature prominently in this trailer, so I would not be surprised if she's one of like the heavy antagonists of the, protagonists of this show. But what I learned about her, or at least what I've heard about her, is that she doesn't like to use lightsabers in her fighting style. She employs a very unique fighting style where she mixes in like physical combat with the Force, basically the highest form of a fighting style a Jedi can achieve. Because, like, you know, a Jedi is not supposed to be an agent of violence. A lightsaber is really there to be your guide, to be your ally, and so on and so forth. So, or really just to help you with your training wheels. A real Jedi, and even Palpatine says this at some point, but like a real Jedi or Sith in this case would not need to use on their lightsaber to win a battle. So I think she does this really well, and it annoys me because we should have seen this kind of fighting with Ezra in the Ahsoka show. Instead, he was just kind of force pushing people around, almost as if like the creators of that show didn't know the Jedi can be confident without lightsabers. That's neither here nor there. I hope they fix it later on going forward, though I highly doubt it, seeing as Ezra got his lightsaber back. Focusing on this though, she does have her lightsaber. You can see it on her belt over there. So she's willingly not using it, and she seems to employ, again, very much force-based combat fighting style, which I think is really cool. Maybe we'll get to see more of this, maybe not. It kind of depends on whether or not she makes it past this fight. Then the next thing I want to point out is, yeah, look at that, how cool is that? Anyway, next thing I want to point out is this chick. So, my prediction is that this is the Acolyte, because, for one, she's not a Sith. Clearly, she doesn't have the Force, and she also doesn't have a lightsaber, which, let me just say this, real quick. If you're a person who does not have the Force or a lightsaber, or you're not an experienced bounty hunter, what are you doing killing Jedi? Like, you got a death wish on your head if you're doing that. Like, that is, how should I say, like, if you're going around killing Jedi with knives, you clearly just don't care about your life, is all I'm saying. But again, back to the thing, I'm predicting this is the Acolyte. This is the person who's killing random Jedi, mostly for her Sith master. And the reason I say she's the Acolyte is, again, no red lightsaber, no Force powers, but it's very likely that she is a dark side worshipper. She does worship the Sith. She carries out their bidding for them. She's basically a Sith assassin. So again, I do think that this is the Acolyte, and this is most likely going to be our main character from the series. All the story will be told through her eyes, and the Jedi are going to be the main antagonists. What else do I want to point out? Then we, of course, have the... Oh yeah, I want to point this out. I love to see this.
Someone is killing Jedi.
Yellow lightsaber. At first I thought it was orange, but I think that's because I watched it on my laptop and the lighting there is different. But this is very clearly yellow, and as we'll see later on, there's a bunch more Jedi with yellow lightsabers. I do love the fact that yellow lightsabers are becoming more common in Star Wars. It does anger me a bit because like Disney is clearly pushing blue lightsabers as their main lightsaber color. They were doing this a lot in 2021, and now they're kind of slowly pushing yellow lightsabers, especially as we're going closer to the Rey movie. So I love the fact that they're pushing yellow lightsabers a bit more because like we see blue everywhere. What I hate is that because they're pushing blue and yellow more, they're kind of taking away green. Which, if you know me, my favorite lightsaber color is green. So I just hate the fact that they're using green less and less, and not counting the Ahsoka show because they're kind of legally bound to keep it green. And we clearly see that they prefer blue because they let Ezra keep a blue lightsaber. I am still not over that. Anyway, so I am glad to see yellow lightsabers here and later on. It really gives that High Republic feel. Like, yes, these are more distinguished Jedi. These are, these are the jolly good chap Jedis. These are the ones who are proper mannered and whatnot.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, of course it doesn't make sense for someone to hunt Jedi. Like, again, who in their right mind is gonna attempt that? That's like going after a cop with knives. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're going after an entire police station. They all have guns. You only have knives, and you're just like, yeah, let's do this. But for some reason you're successful, so I'm not even gonna question it. This does look like Kashyyyk, I think. The trees should be a lot thicker, I think, if they're going to like the main Wookiee village. But seeing as we do see a Wookiee later on, I'm still inclined to think it is Kashyyyk. I know the Wookiees are Jedi, so him being here should not equate it to being Kashyyyk. But I think a forest planet would either be Kashyyyk or Endor. I feel like it's only fair.
What happened?
This guy, the guy who just did the Jedi mind trick. First of all, I'm glad they remembered what the bloody Jedi mind trick is.
What?
So this guy, I think he's probably close. First of all, love the drip. The High Republic Jedi definitely got that gold and white drip. Spectacular. It's better than like the brown faded stuff in the prequels. I get that it's meant to show that, hey, the Jedi in the prequels have lost their way. That's why their outfits aren't as cool anymore. But I do like seeing Jedi in their prime. This is definitely going to be a fun time for us. Anyway, talking about this Jedi in specific, I think he's going to be close friends with the chick we saw earlier on, the chick who does not like to use her lightsaber, the lady Jedi who does not like to use her lightsaber. So I think he's going to be very good friends with her, and maybe if she dies, he's going to be the one leading the case on her murder, who killed her. Because he also features a lot in this trailer, so I can only assume he's one of the primary protagonists as well. Like, aside from the Acolyte and other Jedi, the one who's supposed to be the main character, who for some reason isn't in this trailer, I think he's going to be like the third main character or something. First of all, I'm saying we are going to have a lot of Jedi as part of the main cast. I think this is the largest cast of Jedi we've ever had, like, pushing a story, so it's definitely interesting.
I sense the darkness. This isn't about good or bad.
Oh yeah, that's a line I don't like. As you guys know, I'm not very hot or excited about this show, mostly because of the writing team. I have been very, not vocal, but I have been very well informed that the writing team just kind of don't get Star Wars, or at the very least, based off interviews with them, they don't seem to be the biggest people who are into Star Wars. And this line here kind of exemplifies that for me. It's like, what do you mean it's not about good or bad? This is Star Wars. Star Wars at its bare bones is a story about good or bad, good and bad. Like, I don't think shifting that is gonna do you any favors. If you want to tell a gritty story for the sake of doing a gritty story, please go to any other sci-fi franchise. Don't do that in Star Wars. Star Wars is very clear-cut, good and bad. Don't ruin that magic. And it honestly kind of annoys me, the fact that we're slowly moving away from good and bad stories. I know there are a lot of people out there who love their anti-heroes, who love their morally great characters, but to me, I'm always a black and white guy. I feel like some of the best stories, some of the most iconic stories of all time have come because of black and white, good and bad, hero and villain. And so I feel like trying to muddy the waters, especially in a franchise like Star Wars, is very telling. And again, I'm gonna wait till the show comes out, obviously. But I feel like if they don't make the Sith actually evil, like if this show isn't like Joker, essentially, where Joker, it's a movie about a supervillain, and we see how this villain comes into his own, but we're not meant to side with him. If this show isn't about the Sith coming into power, so how they're slowly creeping in the shadows, and we know the Sith are supposed to be bad, we're not supposed to sympathize with them or whatever, but we enjoy their rise to power, you would have failed. I feel. But yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about this scene as well with the ship crash landing. This looks gorgeous. This dead drop looks gorgeous. I don't know if it's the visual of the ship itself, like the set, but it looks gorgeous. One thing I will say about the set though is that I don't know if it's me or it's because I've just been like watching. I watched Andor, but like with Andor, you could tell that show was expensive. That show had a budget to it, mostly because a lot of the stuff they did, they filmed on set, they filmed on location, like the mountains for the heist arc in Andor, like those were in real locations. Whereas with Ahsoka, you could tell most of that show was filmed in the volume, and here the same applies as well. I feel like a lot of this show looks like it was filmed. Yeah, you see, like this one, like this looks like it was filmed on a set. This was definitely filmed on a set. This part with the whole inside the bar thing, they're very much filmed in the volume. So like when you get some weird shots like this one with the ship that actually look like it was filmed outside, that's pretty cool. I like this. So this is most likely after the ship has crashed and the Jedi are like stranded on this planet. I have a feeling, I have a theory that this planet is Ilum, where the Jedi get their lightsabers, and maybe the Sith came here, killed one of the Jedi, or corrupted their lightsabers. I think that would be pretty cool, but that's just speculation. That is just like the broadest speculation. This is very clearly the Sith, I feel, black cloak and everything. It literally could be anyone. But I feel because we don't see their face and they're obstructed for all of this trailer, this very well could be the Sith, the master of the Acolyte or the assassin we saw earlier on in the trailer. All right, I'm not gonna rake on too hard. You've already heard me talking about the good and the bad and what are my worries and not for the show. So let's just get to the ending. We see a red lightsaber here, which very much belongs to the Sith. And we get to see all these Jedi lighting their lightsabers rushing towards them. I think this is a really cool spectacle. It looks amazing. And as we see in the clip afterward, the Sith pushes them all back with like this dark side cloud. So what I like and don't like. What I like is that they're clearly showing us a powerful Sith, a Sith who's been hiding in the shadows, growing stronger in the dark side. I like that. I like getting to see Jedi all teaming up to take on the Sith. I like that. What I do not like, though, is how this could interfere with the canon. Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, we have three possible outcomes that could come from this scenario. One is that the Sith kills all of these Jedi, and the rest of the Jedi Order don't know what happened to the Jedi. Thus, that way, the Sith are still remaining in hiding, and the Jedi still think the Sith are extinct for the next 100 years until the prequels, when the reveal is now a lot more meaningful to them. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is if the Jedi kill the Sith, or the Sith for some reason escapes, but the Jedi think they won or something, and what's this? Or again, they kill the Sith, and the Sith's apprentice is the one who goes into hiding or whatever, and the Jedi Order is like, oh my gosh, the Sith are still alive. They've been alive for these like last 900 years. I thought they were extinct. Oh, that's crazy. We need to start becoming more balanced in the Force. That's bad. You are actively retconning stuff and contradicting canon. I'm not gonna like this show if it does that. And then of course we have the middle ground where they sort of kill the Sith or something like that, or like the Sith damages some of the Jedi and the Jedi escape, or it's revealed that they have some backbreaking explanation as to why the Sith was able to, or as to why this isn't really a Sith, the way the Jedi shouldn't be around for the next 100 years. I don't know. To me, it's very much on a spectrum. One of three things could come of this, and I'm very worried, to say the least, as to how they'll handle it. Because one thing I really hoped the show would not do was to have a Sith X Jet slash versus Jedi battle. Don't get me wrong, I love my Sith and Jedi battles. I love seeing them everywhere else. I'm glad Ahsoka gave me a bit of that sense of it, even though he wasn't an actual Sith, Balin and Ahsoka. But in this time period, we should not have this many Jedi going against a Sith. Maybe we could have a Jedi who figures out a Sith is alive, and then the Sith kills the Jedi in their battle. That way, we still have a cool battle and a nice lead off into the Phantom Menace. But as such, with this one, kind of leaving me a bit worried. And we're getting a two-part premiere episode event on June 4th. So all of you sit your butts down and go watch The Acolyte, would ya? And let's see if it turns out good or bad. This is very much Disney's riskiest project. This is Star Wars' most riskiest project of all, because it has a very fine line to walk, both in canon and out of universe. It's Disney's riskiest project because this is the first major Star Wars project that takes place outside of the Skywalker saga. So it's very interesting what they're going to do here. I, for one, I'm obviously going to be very interested. I'll give my review. Hopefully, I'll be able to give a review when it comes out. And we'll just hopefully have fun with it. I don't have as much faith in this one as I did Ahsoka, so I said it's very rickety with me right now. But we'll see what's going on with the Acolyte. I've tried to break down what I think could happen, what could appear. If Yoda doesn't appear, that's how you know they're just blue balling us for no reason. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to like if you like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to be part of the team. Click the next video to watch the next video. And without further, go watch my live stream if you haven't already. And without further ado, I'll see you in another universe. Goodbye, my Rangers.